Most victims of narcissists have endured extremely painful episodes of narcissistic rage. It is also possible that this anger was accompanied by severe physical abuse, hysterical screaming, as well as verbal or emotional abuse. Narcissists often make unrealistic or illogical demands of anyone they are associated with, and these demands are typically met with shock and disbelief from the victim, whether it is a family member or a colleague. The narcissist possesses an enormous ego, but it is extremely fragile. They cannot accept being wrong or imperfect. Therefore, when confronted with criticism or doubt about their abilities or their fake perfection, a narcissist's immediate response is intense anger and mockery directed towards those questioning their capabilities or supposed perfection. When a narcissist feels insulted or challenged in their actions, they perceive it as an attack. Their reaction to this perceived attack is often intense and furious anger directed towards the person who challenged them. This is their way of regaining their sense of superiority and self-respect. In today's episode, we will discuss what narcissistic rage is and how to respond to it. I will provide you with some tips on dealing with narcissistic anger. It's important to note that while I've referred to narcissists in masculine terms for simplicity, narcissistic traits and behaviors can be present in both men and women. Thank you for your support. If you find this content helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for helping spread this message to those who may benefit from it. First, what is narcissistic rage? Narcissistic rage is a term used to describe the state in which a narcissist feels attacked by someone or something that challenges their exaggerated self-esteem or entitlement. This often leads to narcissistic anger. This anger can manifest as explosive outbursts or as passive-aggressive behavior, and explosive outbursts may involve verbal or physical abuse, or sometimes both. As for passive-aggressive behavior, it often takes the form of withdrawal and prolonged silence, aimed at punishing the person who has posed a threat to the narcissist. Typically, narcissists respond to perceived threats or challenges with either explosive outbursts or passive-aggressive behavior. This anger is closely tied to the narcissist's need for complete control over the environment they inhabit, as well as their desire for revenge to restore the previous status quo. Furthermore, this anger provides the narcissist with a sense of security and power through the harm and havoc it causes, from their perspective, to anyone who questions them. In the case of narcissists, this anger is usually directed towards the person responsible for the perceived insult or challenge. Anyone else is not likely to trigger this anger. During such bouts of anger, the narcissist often loses touch with reality, becoming unaware of their actions. This can involve shouting, screaming loudly, and distorting facts skillfully while making baseless accusations. There is a clear distinction between general anger and narcissistic anger. General anger is a natural response to something distressing, often rational, and dissipates once expressed. Narcissistic anger, on the other hand, differs because it tends to be irrational, disproportionate to the situation, and driven by any criticism, rejection, or even a minor negative comment towards the narcissist. Narcissists view such actions as an all-encompassing attack or betrayal and enter a state of war with the person who dared to challenge them. Even slight condescension towards a narcissist can trigger an intense and furious outburst, characterized by shouting and unfounded accusations directed at the victim. This occurs because the narcissist's nature is inherently abusive and damaging. During their anger, narcissists often employ projection, accusing the victim of being selfish, untrustworthy, or arrogant while simultaneously contradicting themselves. At times, narcissists may falsely claim to have said things they never actually uttered and blame the victim for not hearing them correctly. So, how can you respond to narcissistic anger? To effectively deal with narcissistic anger, it's essential not to engage with it in any way, as any reaction only escalates their anger. Keep in mind that you cannot win or prevail in an argument or discussion with a narcissist, as they are inherently irrational. Try not to react to the narcissist's provocations, as they use them to provoke you into reacting and try to make you appear wrong. The narcissist will not calm down until they feel they have punished you for your perceived wrongdoing. The punishment can manifest as shouting, screaming, verbal or emotional abuse, and, in some cases, even physical violence, depending on the situation and the relationship between the narcissist and the victim. They may also harass and mistreat you openly to ensure that you experience pain that satisfies them. In most cases, dealing with narcissistic anger is best approached either by calming the anger down or by completely disengaging from the confrontation. When you find yourself in a discussion or argument with a narcissist, it's advisable to choose the right moment, one where they are not in an angry state, and try to find an appropriate time when the narcissist may be willing to listen. This is much better than engaging with them during a fit of anger. To avoid narcissistic anger, it's best to distance yourself completely from the narcissist and the environment in which they are present. Afterward, try to completely ignore any attempts at communication from them in any form. At this point, the narcissist may involve a third party in the situation or use social media to try to reach you. However, you should keep in mind that the narcissist is highly skilled in manipulating people's minds and is very proficient at drawing you back in. If you find yourself unable to leave the relationship or are forced to continue your relationship with a narcissist, I'll give you some advice that can help you avoid narcissistic anger. 1. Establish firm boundaries. When the narcissist crosses the line with you, it's essential to clearly state that you will not accept such treatment and that you will not engage in any discussion or conversation with them unless they are calm and not angry. They may continue to be angry, but they will have to respect the boundaries you've set out of fear of losing you. Over time, they may realize that their anger tactics are not effective. 2. Stay calm. Try to distance yourself mentally and emotionally from the narcissist's anger, even if you cannot physically separate. Avoid overreacting to their narcissistic anger. Keep in mind that the narcissist is looking for your reactions to use against you. By remaining calm, you gain more control over the situation. 3. Avoid overreacting. Keep in mind that when a narcissist becomes angry and attacks you, they are expecting certain reactions from you. By not giving them the reactions they want, you can maintain more control over the situation. 4. Acknowledge their perspective. Try to temporarily accept the narcissist's point of view to diffuse the situation. You can halt the problem immediately and stop the anger by temporarily agreeing with what they are saying. Then, when the time is right and they are calmer, you can engage in a more constructive conversation to address the issue properly. 5. Create distance. Whenever possible, create physical space between yourself and the narcissist. Leave the place where the problem is occurring and go somewhere else to avoid escalating the situation. After that, speak calmly. Don't appear to challenge or threaten them with anything specific. Try to understand an important thing and remember it well, that the anger does not have to be your concern, it's solely the narcissist's issue. It stems from their inner perceptions alone. Knowing this will make dealing with narcissistic anger or anything related to your relationship with the narcissist much easier. Try not to get angry no matter what happens, and understand that any response you offer, contrary to agreeing with the narcissist on anything they say, will escalate the problem. Also, realize that you cannot change the narcissist, and logic doesn't work when dealing with a narcissistic person. In fact, it prolongs conflicts or narcissistic anger because narcissists don't acknowledge reason at all. Keep in mind that anything you do or don't do, say or don't say, might change the narcissistic person or alter their nature. Remember that your opinion or perspective holds no place or value to the narcissist. Attempting to use reason when dealing with a narcissist is entirely irrational, and any attempt to explain or discuss anything only lengthens and exacerbates the problem. It doesn't solve it. I hope this episode has been beneficial to you, and God willing, we will meet in the next episode with a new topic about narcissism. Thank you, and peace be upon you and God's mercy and blessings.